The number one Latino podcast.
It's not
In
just
San
a
Diego.
little
In San Diego.
iPhone in front of
What's up, guys? My name is Mario.
My name's Jesus.
My name's Pao.
Welcome back
back.
to another Vive con Huevos podcast.
Hey.
We have a repeat offender again. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right, on your guys' left or front of you, whatever. The camera switched. Now you saw her. She's on your right. Guys, we have Sylvia is back in the house, guys. Round of applause.
Yay.
Let's all go around the circle and say her last name. Go.
Wrosz. I don't know, man. I really thought I had it. Let's go, Choi.
Wandalowski. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know why I saw that. I don't know.
Said Polish.
I don't know why I see that in my head.
It's okay. I'll take it. It's better than like half the teachers I had growing up. So.
He made up a whole ass word.
It's close. Was it close?
No.
All right, Mario, go.
Are you looking it up?
Hiding it from you, fucking no ass.
Oh, it's way off.
Wrosz.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
look at
pretty
that.
close.
Brushing up on my Polish.
Mm-hmm.
Te salud,
All right, now you say your last name.
Wrosz.
You see?
Yeah, you got it.
Right there.
He gave you that side eye
Sure,
too.
sure.
Got my European passport now.
Okay.
European.
Then get it for me too.
We're about to change this to Vive con cojones.
We got to do that, actually. Move to Spain.
Joder. Sorry, it's the te salud, my bad.
Doing all that. Which one are you drinking? The grapefruit one?
The Paloma one.
Grapefruit.
It's my favorite.
Okay.
You know, I still haven't tried it.
Right?
Like at all.
The pepino one is my favorite one.
What is it?
What is this?
It's an
Pepino.
electrolyte.
That one's Paloma.
Electrolyte.
Grapefruit.
But they're this brand. They also have a podcast, and it's called Salud or Taste Salud.
Te salud.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have like the horchata.
Yeah.
That
I
one.
like those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
One of
Mario went on a
one of
shopping
my writers when I was teaching at Fit
I said
brought them to
writers,
me.
Like writer.
Oh, writer.
You publishing
like,
your books now?
Like you
no.
on you on the street.
No, like writer. Like you're publishing
Yeah.
a book.
Writer.
No,
Sorry,
he
this is your
came in
podcast. Now I'm
because
just
I'm
gonna sit
always
here.
like screaming shit in
Yeah.
Spanish, and he was like, "You would love these," and I'm like, "That's
No,
racist." No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, hold on.
Pretty fucking racist if you ask me.
Like my old coworker when he gave me the fucking the
Oh, the
sunflower
sunflower
seeds.
seeds.
So my old coworker, shout out my boy D, he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, I think you would like these." Out of everybody in the office, right? He comes up to me and he hands me a
Right.
bag of sunflowers, and I was like, "Okay, nothing special," but I just kind of glanced at them, and then I actually like did a double take, and it was Taco Bell flavored
No mames.
sunflower seeds.
Hey, but you do like Taco Bell.
I was gonna say, but you actually did this. Maybe he knew you liked
Were they
Taco
good?
Bell. we
We didn't try them.
haven't tried them though.
No, I think we threw them away because they were there for
I didn't want to say that. What if
Quite
he
some
listens
time.
And now he knows you threw them away.
Sorry.
I'm really bad. I'm the kind of person that like, are you gonna eat these or not? And if you're not gonna eat them, I throw them away. I
Same.
don't like
And it's just always my shit.
everything. Are you gonna use this or not? And I'll
Yeah.
throw it away or give it away. I just hate.
I have a 3-month
saving
rule.
things.
If I haven't touched it, used it, or moved it within 3 months, it's got to go.
Yeah, that's a good.
Is
rule.
Kelly the opposite?
Yes.
He likes to keep
Oh,
shit.
he's like a borderline hoarder, a little bit.
So is this guy.
Look
You never know if you're gonna use the box.
You're not. You're never gonna use it.
What if I need to do a
Then
return
Go get one.
and spend $3 on a
5
box?
years later.
You'll get a new box before you need that box.
They got
What-
free boxes at the post office.
No, you gotta pay for them.
No, you don't. You just
No,
grab
you
it.
don't. You just grab it.
What about you, Jesus?
He's like, stop talking about me.
Still
Let's
trying
talk
to figure out the
about
last name.
Listen here.
I actually throw things away right away. But since I'm always ordering online, I always have boxes anyways. So
What About Pam?
she keeps things.
She keeps thinking.
She
There has to be,
keeping
right?
it
Like in
politically
every
she keeps
in
things.
every relationship, there's a keeper and a thrower
It's
awayer.
balance.
Yeah.
Yin and yang.
My mission is to make you into a thrower wayer though. So I
look,
don't have to do
look,
it.
I
all
don't know
the
if you
time.
noticed, but she gave me 3 new junk drawers.
I did
behind
not.
me.
I did not. We just got that mueble behind me. but it has those 3 little drawers, and I knew it. I knew the minute that I got something with drawers, he was just gonna want to throw shit in there. But he already has 3 other junk drawers. That's
2.
No, there's 3.
Which one's the third?
It's like the second one. It's the top 2, and then that second one. Anyways,
That one's new. She's hiding
all
shit
kinds
from me
of
in
shit
there.
in there. No.
Anyway, today's about Sylvia, okay? Not about me. God damn.
moving on.
It's turned into a Mario roast. I like it.
Shit. It's hot. This light is fucking hot, huh?
No que no.
Anyways, welcome back, Sylvia. We
Nice to see you back.
yeah, we've been trying to get this going for quite some time.
Yeah,
But we've all been busy.
especially you.
I was about to say yes, especially you.
I mean, all of us, but especially
Yeah.
Sylvia.
If you don't know who the hell Sylvia is, pause and then episode 35. Let me
Was it episode 35?
see. Yeah, episode 35.
Nice.
Raw and Authentic featuring Sylvia Wrosz.
Muy bien.
It's a great episode, guys.
It is. It's a great episode. We get a lot of compliments still. We were just talking about that. I don't know if she's going to leave that on or not. So
I don't know, but we do get a lot of
I
compliments.
leave
on it.
everything on.
wait, did you just do the second attempt on the last name?
No, you guys already said it.
Do it.
Rush.
Muy bien.
There you go. Okay, so give us a little
Updates.
update. What have you been up to? Anything new? Anything
Update.
fun? Not fun? Dramatic?
I think last time I was here, I was still working for the last spin studio I was at. I made the decision to leave. There were a lot of things that just weren't aligning with why I do what I do in that space, mostly on a management side and a little bit within some of the coworkers. I think that I have a really hard time sometimes separating my emotions from places, and I only know one way to love people, you know? So when I step into a space, I genuinely try to make it better and connect with the people there. And there are just some things you can't control that you're going to be met with. And so it sucked because I still every day I miss just connecting with people in that space, and I'll be in the car and I'm just like, this is a good one. Like bouncing on the and I miss
leaning
it.
to the right and
yeah.
leaning to the left.
Like tap that ass back. And so I do miss it, but I know that it already got really sour, and I know myself well enough to know that if I let myself carry through things past their time, then I become a really bad version of myself. And to me, that's the part that mattered the most. Like I was already compromising a lot of my values. I was already starting to get in shitty headspaces. And then if I had stayed, I just would have been a not great version of myself.
Yeah.
So it was just time to step away. And it sucked because I don't do it for the people that I ultimately quit because of. So that was the hardest part.
Yeah.
Like you do it because you want to connect with people, and you do it because you want to change people's lives, and because you were among those people and it did so much for you. And so when it had nothing to do with the people I was doing it for, but I just knew I couldn't do it for them in that space and in that capacity, it was so hard. I cried through every class the last 2 weeks. Like
She did,
I
ladies
did.
and gentlemen.
I did. I broke down twice in 2 of them, and everyone was super kind about it, but it just sucked. It was like this war in my body where I was like, I really love this, but not like this. Like this isn't it. So I am looking at a new studio. I actually have a demo on Wednesday.
I
to
will
show
say
them what
I
I'm
miss
like.
your classes so much.
I get a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the other day I was having like a really shitty day, and I was like, you know what would be like fucking the best thing right now would be Sylvia's class, like Sylvia's spin class.
Is that why we
But
got bikes? Is that why we got bikes?
maybe. No,
Our new
it's
personalities.
very different, but it is. It's definitely Mario's new personality.
Yes.
It's very different, but there was just a lot about those classes that like helped. You know, like you made a comment right now about like helping people or like making people better, like whatever it is, you know. And I can genuinely say that like your classes helped me through a lot of things. And so it's just one of those, like, sometimes you're just having a shitty day and like you need that reminder, you know, like your little pep talks were always so nice and like and I think the most special part was like you knew that you were coming from the heart and like you were very genuine about it. I will say I've taken classes where like people like instructors will give a good pep talk, but you just know that they're not
Feels
like
a little rehearsed.
yeah. And I never felt like that in your class. So
thank you. I appreciate that. Because I'd show up sometimes and I'd just be like, I taught 14 classes this week. I got shit to say to you people. Like, we're just going to ride, you know? But I don't know any other way to be. You show up and I just, you know what? I've had a really shitty day. So we're going to rage today. We're going to fuck shit up for a second.
Rage classes were it.
They were the best. And I still get to do a little bit of that teaching my sculpt classes, which are also to rhythm. I just, as much as I love like Pilates and there's a lot of really cool modalities out there, there's something so powerful about dancing. Like dancing is one of the most therapeutic, most beautiful things you can do for just your brain. And when you dance on a bike, when you dance, when you do something to the beat of music, it activates something so special in the brain. And then when you combine that with group fitness, which is also really powerful, just because we're such primal and competitive creatures, whether we want to admit it or not. So you put people in that space and you're naturally just competing with the people next to you, even though that's not really what you're doing. So it naturally pushes you harder. And so when you're adding like the joy of moving to music and then that like very human aspect of just like, oh, like this person next to me is getting it. Like I got to go harder. It's just such a powerful thing. So sculpt is still kind of helping me fill that void. And it's interesting because I have so many people that like, that's not their thing, but it's been a really beautiful and humbling reminder that if it was on a mat, if it was on a balance beam, if it was on a bike, like I've already done a good job of curating that community. So even though it felt like I was leaving people behind and that hurt so much, it was refreshing to move to a new space. And they're like, all right, I guess this is what we're doing now. Like, we're not using the bike anymore. And people follow you because it's not about the space, the equipment, it's about you and what you've nurtured and kind of harvested there. So it has been really nice to just step back and kind of take my own ego out of it too. And just, I don't need the bike. I don't need it to be 30 people. It could be a nice small group of 10. And even still, I'm making an impact in that space. So it's been cool, but it's been different. I've also not really known what to do with myself with so much rest. Like that's been weird. I don't remember when the last time I've only had like 2 classes a week to teach was. So the rest has been great. I've taken the opportunity to hone in on some of my things that I've needed, like coming off of birth control and that whole process with hormones that I'm currently going through. And it's helping me also relate to the people that I help a little bit better because I've got someone that's doing my summer challenge who has PCOS, and it wreaks so much havoc on your body, the hormonal changes, and I don't know a lot about that. And so it's been really cool to also have to learn to know how I can better serve that person. And it's helping me get a little bit more connected to my purpose and why I do this, because I already know I can do it. I already know I can do it on a bike, on a mat. And so then you're kind of just like, okay, now I get to go back and reconnect to my why, because I know I can do it. I can show up and do it. I can playlist in 20 minutes. It's not even about those details anymore. Now I really get to like sit with it and how am I actually making a difference? How can I actually show up in this space? So that part has been really good. I am anxious to get back on a bike, so I'm excited for the audition just to do it and just to feel that again. I have also started my personal brand because I feel like that was something that I'd been putting off, and I genuinely didn't have time. I was teaching sometimes 14 to 18 classes a week, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. So I paid to have a whole brand package done, did my logo, created my website, and
which
essentially,
is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
I love it so
essentially,
much.
I just wanted that thing that drives me and that thing that I feel to be something I can take with me everywhere. I don't want to have a brick and mortar place. I don't want to own a studio. As many problems as I've had with management in different spaces, I have to commend them, because having a brick and mortar space is hard. Yep. There's a lot of details. I personally, I'm just not the type of person to do something unless I'm going to do it well. So that's where I'd bump heads, where people try to cut corners or shave off on costs. And I'm just like, then why did you do this? Yeah. Like, it costs money. Yeah. And so I do commend them for just how much of a task it is, but I know I don't want that. So I want to be mobile. I want to use the 4 languages that I speak. I want to travel and connect with people, not just in my city, but in different countries. And I want to help people in other places, especially some of the rural places where workouts and things like this aren't accessible. We already see that, I think, sometimes here. I was actually just talking to a friend about this today, where she practices like her Pilates flow in her building, and some of the cleaning ladies in her building are like, ¿Te puedo preguntar algo? Like, what is that? Like, what are you doing? And like, this woman's never taken a Pilates class, you know? And so you realize that there are these barriers, and these are the very barriers that I'm trying to break. I don't want fitness to feel like this elitist thing. And that was one of the issues I had with a lot of the fitness industry. There's so much competition and so much talking shit about other people, and, oh, this person copied me, or I did this first. And I am so sick of people thinking they invented the wheel. Like, you're not making anything new. Yeah. I read the Rick Rubin book, which if you haven't read it, it's incredible. He's incredible. And he just talks about how like everything we do creatively, energetically, it's all recycled. Mm-hmm. Like nothing is new, nothing, not music, not art, not movement. Everything we're doing is just us reinterpreting and just re-expressing something that's already been done. Mm-hmm. So especially in the fitness space where it's not fucking about you. No one gives a shit if you did this first. Like, it's not about you. It's about the people that you're helping and your style and how you do that and how you genuinely connect with people. And I went to a class in New York. I went to Army. Mm-hmm. And I've been dying to go to that class. And Loveland, one of my colleagues that I've had at a few studios now, she was like, you're going to get your ass kicked. Like, it's so hard. I went there and I was like, I don't know a single instructor here in San Diego that would be able to keep up with that class. Oh, wow. And the fact that like we think we're it and our shit doesn't stink is like, it's laughable. Like there's people running laps around us. And so for you to think you can claim something, invent something, take ownership over something, and for that to be where you're focusing your energy, to me is just, you're missing the point. Yeah. Like you're 100% missing the point. So for my brand, it was more just, I want to bring these events and these spaces and this knowledge, because I also know a lot of incredible instructors that don't feed into those narratives, that really want to help people, that have incredible resources. They've done their own research, whether it is about hormones or certain movements. And I want to put these people in a space where they're accessible to the masses. I think that specifically, I'm like a nut for hormone health right now, but for hormone health specifically, I think as a woman, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like there's so much to learn, and there's so much that we're asked to pay attention to, our cycles, how you eat, how you move. But it's not easy to find that information condensed in one space. And so I know like this woman that does incredible stuff with nutrition. I know this other one that does stuff with hormone health and blood paneling. Like, I just want to get these women in a room and have them put something together that I can help them spread to other people, whether it's at a, wellness women's expo, whether it's a fitness event, whether it's a retreat. So my heart just really lies in cutting out the noise of the fitness industry, because there's a lot of it, unfortunately, and it's never made any sense to me. I don't understand the whole competition aspect. We're competing for what? To make people healthy? Like, that's a weird flex. Like, it's just... Yeah. So I'm excited. It's called Sylvia Sessions, and it came from a friend who was like, you need to have a podcast that's called Sylvia Sessions. And I was like, I like that name because I feel like it could be anything, right? Like a session with me could be this. A session with me could be me instructing a room full of people that want to teach spin. It could be me leading a retreat. It could be me facilitating a retreat with other people leading it. Yeah. It could be anything. Yeah. So I liked it because I also don't want to be put in a box. And the idea, I guess, if you think of like Kourtney Kardashian's like Poosh or Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop, I love that format as like a big resource, but I don't want it so much as like lifestyle as I want it more like fitness and health based. So more health, wellness, movement, mindful movement specifically. And just, I want to help people fall in love with taking care of themselves. And I think that health and wellness is such a basic human right. And we miss the mark so much with like, look how cool this Pilates studio is. But then it's a very cookie cutter, like they all look the same. And that cleaning lady doesn't feel like that's accessible to her. And I can't accept that. Like I'm not okay with that. So,
well, you reminded me a lot of my mom right now. When she actually, it's funny because it's the same example as Pilates, but because of the language barrier, she was just embarrassed, and it's so foreign to her. you know, to her, it's more of a traditional way of working out, you know, going out for a run or weights.
Walking.
Yeah, walking. Versus like Pilates in El Salvador is like unheard of, basically.
Right.
So she saw this and she's like, ¿Qué es esto, mijo? And I tried to explain it to her, but like,
Yeah.
What
like-
you see, Pilates?
yeah, she saw Pilates and like, I don't really know much about it, to be honest. So I was like, how do I explain this to her when I don't really know what
Yeah.
it is? And then she wants to kind of be engaged and kind of like start working out, but she's embarrassed because of that language barrier. And she's like, pues, ¿cómo le entro algo que... Pues,
Let's get her a bike.
yeah. Like she's embarrassed, you know, it's like, what if I don't understand the
Yeah.
instructor? Or like, you know, typically you go into these classes and it's like, you really don't see people her age, or you do, but like they're a lot more advanced because they've been doing it for so long. Because
Yeah.
for them, it was a lot more attainable to get to these
Yeah.
classes,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So it was like, she was just like so embarrassed. And you reminded me of her right now. I was like, I remember my mom.
Yeah. Yeah. I think because I lost a ton of weight, I've been on both sides of that. Like a lot of people that have met me now in my journey or recently, they don't know that I lost almost 70 pounds. And going through that process, like I walk into a space now and a lot of people know me and they know I'm an instructor. So I get treated very differently than when I was 70 pounds heavier. And I would walk into spaces when I was heavier and just, I would feel like I didn't belong there, or you just don't fit the mold, or you don't look like us. And if I'm feeling that, like what's your mom feel? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and I don't like that. It's just not, it's not fair. People are so entitled to finding joy in movement, and there's no way for them to do that if they don't try. And it's already so intimidating. It doesn't matter what the situation is, whether it's the language barrier, whether it's your own self-conscious just body image, because maybe that's something that you're working through, or maybe like also what happened to me, you've never had to move your body. And then when you finally find a necessity for it, you're like, where the hell do I even start? And then when people meet you with that combative, like, oh, like you don't fit the mold here, then it becomes 10 times harder. And I've seen people really derail someone's whole journey. We talked about this last time.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that. That gives me the ick. That's the antithesis of why you should be doing what you're doing. I had a colleague who hated when there was first timers in her class. Like one time there were a list of quite a few in her class and she's just like, ugh, like I'm not a beginner instructor. And I always like, that would always not sit well with me, because I'm just like, I love first timers. When I know I have a first timer, I beeline it straight for them. And if they get to class in time and they have time for me to like connect with them before, I always go right up to them, especially on a bike, because that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Like the lights go off and you're like, what the hell? And so I beeline it for them specifically. And I'm like, what's up? Listen, we're going to be dropping our elbows, doing all kinds of crazy shit. You're going to feel like you want to keep up. You're going to get FOMO. But the fact of the matter is, it's going to take you a while to get the hang of it, and you're not going to be able to do it. And I'm not saying that because I don't have faith in you. I'm saying that because it is very overwhelming once this gets started. And I always tell them it took me like the first year spinning, especially because I was losing weight, to be able to sprint out of the saddle and hold a whole sprint for like 45 seconds. Now, like I'm teaching the whole class, no big deal, but it took me a year to do that one time. And then I had to keep showing up year after year for 7 years to finally get to the point where I was like, I could teach this. And so I think it's so important to connect with those people and to just remind them, like, even though I'm on a podium above you, I am no different than you. Like I was there. This is going to be wild as hell. Just observe, have fun, vibe. And if you have any questions, let me know. And you can always see them just kind of like, they're like, okay, like what's about to happen in here?
I guess
and at the end, I always go back to them and I'm like, how do you feel? And they're like, amazing. And I had such a high conversion rate at most of my studios with first timers coming back, because that connection is so important. And so the people that are like, I hate having first timers, I'm just like, you're missing such a beautiful opportunity to make an impact for somebody, even for just a little bit. And even if they leave saying, you know what, that's not for me, at least they didn't feel like they didn't belong there.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part.
This made me think a lot of like, I've heard this multiple times from multiple people where they say like, I have to lose weight before I start going to the gym.
Yes.
Because they just feel a certain way,
Yeah.
you know, and it like, yeah, like we've had this conversation, and to me, it's always been like, but that is the tool. Like, I get it, because I at one point also felt
like, what
really
came first, the
intimidated.
chicken or the egg?
Yeah. You know, like I at one point also felt really intimidated by the gym, but like, just go in there and do it, and like nobody cares, you know. And like if they do care, then why do you care? Like just go and do it. But I understand that it's like a lot harder like, it's a lot easier said than done, you know? But yeah, like to me, that's always just been such a crazy concept, that the fact that people feel like they have to lose weight before they start using these tools. That was one point. And then my second point, I want to go back to the spin room, because that was exactly how my first class, like, ever at the studio here was like, what the fuck? And to top it off, I was in the front. I had no idea what I was doing. This was when the room was long waist.
Oh yeah.
And I took the class with Katia, if I'm not mistaken. We took our first class together, and I get there and they're like, okay, here are your shoes, like, sit down. I couldn't even clip into the fucking bike.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And Katia and I were like, well, fuck it. Like, we're here. We're going to do it.
Like, my feet are strapped in, so I guess we're staying.
And I just remember being like, what the heck, you know?
Well,
and
you
like,
couldn't get off the bike, no?
And then I couldn't get off the bike at the end, because like I couldn't clip out, and I was like, I don't understand what is happening right now. But the same thing happened. Like, the class ended, and I was like, I mean, I'd come back. Like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but like, I'll learn, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely being in the front was not it. Like, not it. I wish I would have known what that meant, but I didn't. But I do remember, like, it was just the funniest thing. And then I started taking other people's classes, and it was like, okay, I get it now, you know? But yeah, just wanted to share that story.
Yeah. It's, I remember that every time I'd walk into a new space, and regardless of whether I liked the workout or not, I do remember how they made me feel. And I just, at least if I'm in control of it, I never, ever, ever want someone to walk out just being like, oh, they were unfriendly, or I felt like I didn't belong there. Oh, this isn't for me because of something I did. So yeah, I think that a lot of fitness places kind of miss that opportunity. So the place I'm auditioning for this week, I sat down with the owner. She asked me my why, like, why do you do what you do? I told her my whole weight loss journey, my whole fitness journey, found out her background as well. And it seemed like she really is in it for the right reasons. So it does also feel nice to have taken that step back and then have these opportunities come to me instead of me going out and looking for them, because they're feeling a lot more natural and aligning very much with what I'm trying to build, which is just I don't want people to feel like I felt, period.
I love that.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah. What I was going to say is I think that's why you've been able to create such a great community around you, is because you're so selfless with your art. You know, it's like that's one of the main reasons Bao, I think, connected with you. Because some of the first classes that you had with her, like she came back and she's like, dude, I had such a great time. Like she was like, you talked to her, I think, before the class just felt super welcoming. And then after, you guys kind of vibed after. And then as time has gone by, she's told me, well, like, it felt like she was talking to me when you were giving your pep talks. And I think a lot of people, I think we had this conversation with Romy where it was like, maybe she was kind of yelling at herself internally, but externally it was, you kind of felt it as like she was talking to you. So it hit you differently. So fucking weird that.
That's true, because we did connect that with Romy. Yeah, I got to the point where Mario knew when I had taken your class without like knowing, you know, like I'd come home, like, you took Sylvia's class.
Yeah, it was like a different vibe. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's true. I could say, because like I guess I could say from like getting to know you better, and like even knowing some days like, oh, like she's probably not having the best day today, or like we talked a little before the class or the couple days before or whatever, and even then the class was always still like so good. And even though sometimes I could tell why you were saying the things that you were saying, like I could tell that the entire classroom was like, the entire class was like relating to it in their own way, you know, because you just never know like how people are gonna take that.
For sure. And I think that's my favorite part. Ultimately, that's the high that I'm never gonna get tired of. I just, even at the bar studio where I teach, I was teaching a sculpt class, and this girl just kept coming back to my classes, and eventually she was only signing up for mine. And I don't know what possessed me one day. I had read like a meditation in my daily meditation book, and it like really spoke to me. And I said something, and she came up to me after class, and she was crying, and she was just like, I'm getting out of an abusive relationship. Like you have no idea how much I needed to hear that. And this space has made me feel so beautiful and empowered. And I don't feel that at home right now. And so it's like those little moments where you're dealing with human beings. Yeah. So just treating them like a number or a paycheck, or just like, like what a chore to have to teach you to do this. Like, I wish you could just be one of the people that just get it. like that's just sad. Like, why are you doing this? So yeah, I think those little moments are what I'll never get sick of, having that connection and just letting people feel seen, because I think that's all we want, is for somebody to see us and to understand us. And I know for myself personally, that's whenever I have issues in my relationships, in any of my interpersonal relationships, it's because I feel misunderstood. And everybody deserves to feel seen, even if it's just for a moment, and especially in a place where it's meant for your health, your wellness, and your well-being. If you can't at least feel seen and strong walking out of a place like that, then that place has really missed the mark in what they're doing for your life. So yeah.
Well, that's exciting. So you're getting back into spin, hopefully.
Yeah.
You started your own brand, and what do you see yourself doing with the brand in like the next couple of months?
So I always try to like go from the 10-year plan to the 5-year, and then what can I control within the next 2 years. So long-term goal, obviously I'm looking at things like Poosh and Goop, and like, what can I do that's similar but different and in the niche that I want? Because I don't know that I've seen anything quite in that sector. I was asked when my brand package was put together, like, who are your competitors? And I have such a problem with that word, because I'm not competing with anybody. I if anything, the question that resonated more was like, who would you want to sit at a table with? And that's who I said. I said I want to pick Courtney's brain apart, and I want to know why she did what she did with Poosh. And I love that there's like a sexual health aspect to Goop, and that's like a sector that she's working on. And so I think what I see long term is definitely something multifaceted, whether it's blog, podcast, and me doing these events, or partnering with brands that already exist. I don't necessarily want to create anything myself. Like, there's so many vitamins, protein powder. Like, that market is so oversaturated that I just want to find like, what are the better options for people? I want to help people make the right decisions, because somebody out there is already doing it, and I don't think I could do it any better. I just want to help people find the best resources. So it's more like a little dictionary of health that I'm looking to kind of curate, eventually hopefully hiring writers for that and letting people express themselves, because I love the power of the written word. And I connected with so many people through a blog I used to have. And so that's been a kind of cool, like, people are like, oh, like, are you going to write about like those heavy topics again? Because I used to write about abortion and my divorce, and I connected with so many people on that level too. So I want to stay true to who I am, because I'm always going to be the type of person that has those difficult conversations, but I want it all to align a little more with health, whether it's mental health, well-being, physical health, movement. Podcast has definitely always been something that I've teetered on the fence with, just because I do like to talk. And I was always that kid that got in trouble for talking in school. And then I came on your podcast and I was like, this is cool.
Well, the platform is here. I think
you've extended that before, and I appreciate that.
Even if it's not with us, if it's you and whoever else, you're free to use all the gear.
I appreciate that.
I don't know if Jesus is free to edit, but
he's like, if she calls me Chewy one more time, I might not.
Fuck this. What did you call him last time? Chucho.
Yeah. Chucho.
But no, honestly, I mean that offer is always on the table.
I appreciate it.
I think I told you a while back ago, actually. I think if you ever wanted to use the podcast stuff, it's up for grabs.
Even if you just want to try it out,
see
how you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's here, so instead of having to buy everything, and you're like, fuck this, and then
But in short, the goal for next year specifically, I'd like to do a retreat per quarter.
Ooh, bye. I'm
gonna be there too. With Kelly, my bed.
And then like one wellness event per month, and then past that, we'll kind of figure out how much I can scale further and where everything else goes. Cause I did, like I said, want to leave it very open-ended, where it's Sylvia Sessions. So it's more than one thing. I'm a multifaceted person. And for a long time, I didn't know that the Jack of all trades, master of none had a second part. So it's Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than master of one. And I didn't know that second part existed. So you just kind of feel, especially when you grow up, I think with certain cultures, my dad being very Polish, very strict, my mom being Mexican and just being very like, I'm going to fall in line with whatever your father says. It was very much an expectation. Like you have to grow up and study something and pick something and you have to do that and you have to be successful at it. And it has to be something that makes you money. And it was such a narrow lens for me to look at like how I'm going to spend the rest of my life. But I'm not a single faceted person. Like I grew up as a musician, but I also loved to paint and I did art lessons and I was a swimmer and that was the only athletic thing I really did, but I was also a pilot and that's technically a competitive sport when you're doing it in gliders. And so it was just,
we didn't talk about that last time, did we?
No,
No,
because I found that out like later.
I found that out right now.
Whoa,
yeah,
really cool
I soloed
fact.
in a glider when I was 15. So I learned to fly before I learned to drive.
Wow.
And I loved it, but I think that was one of the my dad was like, oh, you can be a commercial pilot. And I'm like, well, no, like this is a hobby. Like my dad doesn't know that word hobby. Like it's you have to do it because it like makes you money and you're dedicated. And so growing up, I was just made to feel like I was such a like waste. And my dad at one point told me this, it's like I was a waste of space. Like every talent I had that I wasn't going to like, you know, a music conservatory in Warsaw to study Chopin specifically and go on these like concert pianist expeditions, I was wasting my talent. If I wasn't becoming an airline pilot, why the fuck did I pay for all those lessons? If I wasn't becoming a doctor or a lawyer, like, well, maybe you're not as smart as we thought you were. And so it sucks growing up with that narrative because you don't really know where you fit in. You're not happy picking one thing. And so I really want to break that mold. And I want other people to know that you're allowed to be multifaceted. You're allowed to have a stream of income and support from multiple areas. And I think that if you can grow up, become a lawyer, and that feeds your soul, and that's something you're passionate about, great. But I think that that's actually fewer and far between than the people that like, I have these 3 things that make me happy. And so it was really important to me to have something that open-ended too, because I don't know which one's going to take off. If the retreats end up taking off crazy and I spend more time on that, great. But I don't want to just do that. I'd still write and, you know, hire people to help me write the blog and do the research on the brands that I like to partner with. But I also would want to be local. I wouldn't want to travel all the time. Like I want to connect with my community here because this is where I started. And so I know for sure that that's an attainable goal. 1, you know, Sylvia Sessions event per month, 4 retreats total. And then we'll kind of see what happens. Because in the in-between, I'll be writing, maybe podcasting, maybe doing other things. And I'll kind of see where it goes. I think I'm also at a point in my life where as much as I want to do something for myself, own something for myself, I'm totally okay with the ride. Mm-hmm. Like I also look at people like Kourtney Kardashian and Gwyneth Paltrow and how old they are. I got time.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm in no rush to figure out exactly what this looks like. I just know I've got control over setting this goal for the next year, maybe 2 years. And I know that aligns with what I, you know, big picture. I'm like big dreaming in 10 years and then we'll just kind of see how we get there. So
how exciting.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see it like all unravel and obviously go to all the retreats.
By all means, I'll be here with Olivia. But no, I like the way that, but what you just said about being open, of having like different streams of revenue and not being married to the idea of like, this is what I have to do. Mm-hmm. I kind of came into me and Paulina kind of turned and laughed at each other because my dad's sometimes the same way, as far as like in the way of thinking. I was like, well, if it's not bringing you money, then why are you doing it?
Why?
You
Yeah.
know? I always joke around when I say like, when I started the podcast, when I switched from clothing brand to podcast, he's like, why? He's like, ¿y cuánto te van a pagar por eso?
Eso te pagan.
Para eso te pagan, okay? And I was like,
yeah,
eventually. And we have seen like, you know, now a little bit more income coming in. I mean, it's not gonna pay the bills, but you know, now, and then I finally showed him and I was like, look, like,
not a lot, but
it's something.
It's
Yeah,
starting
it's not
to
much,
happen.
but it's honest work.
yeah. Exactly. It's like, you want a soda? It's on me.
Here's chicle.
But we're gonna share the soda because
And it's a can, okay?
But he's always kind of been like, I mean, now he's from when I was in high school till now, my dad has I want to say grown up a lot. he's been able to like kind of understand me a little bit more. Same vice versa.
Yeah.
And then I think now I had to come to the understanding that I'm not happy just doing one thing. Paulina posted a video of me on the bike the other day, and one of her friends was like, Mario has so many fucking hobbies.
No, she was, what did she say? I actually need to go back to like see what she actually said, because it was really funny.
He has like an endless amount of hobbies.
Endless amount of hobbies, I think is what she said. Mario has an unlimited amount of hobbies. And I was like, he really does.
But
I love that though.
Yeah.
Like, what is life otherwise unless it's colorful and you're trying all these different things?
Yeah.
And
things can just bring you like
Yeah,
happiness
just joy
and
and
joy. Like, it doesn't
happiness,
have to be.
yeah.
I feel like the minute that you involve finances is when it all dies.
100%.
I think for the longest time, like I was very much the kind of person that was like, oh, I'm good at that. How can I make money from it?
Yeah.
You know? And then I did it when I started baking, and I was like, this was the worst decision I've ever made, because I loved baking so much, and that killed it for me. And
Yeah.
like till this day, I've done a couple things here and there, but like I no longer have the joy for it the way that I used to, you know? And so then that was the day that I learned, like, just because you like doing something doesn't mean you have to make money off of it. Like, you can just enjoy it. And
I think as a population, we seriously lack hobbies.
Yeah.
And I have a friend, it's actually Kelly's friend, but I kind of sequester all his friends in their mind now. But she lives in LA, and we've met, but we're like internet buddies now because she's in LA. And that's one of the things she said recently. She took up salsa dancing, and she was like, I share this as well. This is my toxic trait. I always say, if I'm not automatically good at something, I'm like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta be good at it, or else we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And so she started salsa dancing, and she was like, it's like very humbling because I have rhythm, but like I'm not good at this. And so I have to go to these classes and try again. And then she figured out that she really loved it, and she's got a boyfriend, but she goes without him. And Kelly always tells me, like, if you want to go to salsa and bachata because he knows I like it and I'm not available, or I'm like recording or something, go do it. And when I found out that when you go to those dance classes, couples are usually the odd ones out because it's usually singles and they kind of rotate partners. I was like, I would have been coming without your ass for years.
I didn't know
if I
that.
knew this is
I
how
didn't
it
know that
was.
either, actually. Yeah.
My friend Patrick just went the other night. Kelly was so sunburnt he couldn't put pants on and he couldn't come dancing. And so Patrick had ditched me on my birthday when I took everyone salsa dancing. And I was like, okay, you ditched me on my birthday, but Kelly can't come, so you're going to come be my partner. You're going to see what it's like. If you don't like it, I won't harass you ever again. I won't make you come. But if you like it,
We're coming.
then we can come all the time.
Yeah.
He fucking loved it. He made me do the same damn 8 count over and over and over and over again on the dance floor. I was like, I think we got it, Pat. I think we can move on to the next thing. But it's cool because there's so few spaces like that, I feel like, anymore, where people show up alone and are trying something new and finding like a new hobby. But I think we're very, very deprived of hobbies. I think the hustle culture is so strong now that we think everything has to make us money. And I do think that you teeter a line between like, I want to be valued for my time and I want to get paid well for my time because I know that what I have to offer and what I bring to the table is valuable. But like, where does that line draw? Because I think I was doing spin genuinely out of the joy of my heart, couldn't give a shit how much I was making. And part of why I left my last studio was it started to become about that. And I was like, I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Yeah.
And that narrative made me sad because I never did it for the money. But at the same time, I was definitely not being valued for the work I was putting in. And so I think there's a balance. And if you're not fulfilling your life with those like just one-off, like I don't give a shit if it makes me money. I don't care if anybody wants to do it with me. Like, this is my thing. This is my hobby, and this sparks joy. And I think we all just are severely lacking that in our lives.
Right.
I'm guilty too. Yeah. Like, I could paint more. I could do all the things I did when I was little more, and I don't. So yeah, I think we all need to get more hobbies.
Yeah. Well, now I have the issue when like people ask me, or like it's the small talk, and like, oh, what do you like to do? And I was like, well, fuck. Well, there's biking. I like golf. My podcast. Like, I like photography. It's like
Mario takes out his scroll.
I really just like
it gives me
anxiety because I don't like. It's like Like,
But you're
I have
like
so
on the-
much
You're
shit.
like, pick a number 1 through 127.
Yeah. But you're like on the opposite side, because now I'm thinking about it. When we first met, like, all you did was work.
So I was gonna say that because Sylvia hit a point where it was like, I think the hustle culture was just so glamorized, right? Like it was just like, oh, you hustle, like, oh, the sick. Like it was always like, oh, I work 9 to 5, or someone was always trying to one up you of like how much harder they were working, right?
Yeah.
And growing
It's not
up,
cute anymore.
it's not.
We're tired.
And growing up, and especially when I had the business when Paulina and I first started to date, that was my personality, was work.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I do wake up at 5 a.m. to go to work, and I come home when I work literally from sun up to sundown, and I was so proud of that. Like I was just so.
And that's a cultural thing
Sí,
too.
yo estaba muy orgulloso de decirle a mi familia, a mis amigos, like, yeah, I fucking work my ass off.
Yeah.
But then it was like, okay, but you don't have time for literally nothing else.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest fights that Paulina and I used to have when we first started dating was, dude, where is the time for the relationship? We have no time to cultivate us, right?
Yeah.
It was always just like, you're always working. And when you're not working, you're thinking of work.
Yeah.
Or you have to go, at the time, that was when we had Vitality Bowls, or I had to go to Sprouts, or I had to go to, Trader Joe's to go get bananas, or something was always missing that
The biggest one for me was the cameras.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the killer for me. And I was like, you got to stop, dude. Like, I'll never forget, we were at Polite Provisions and we were chilling, having a great time and like having a good conversation, And he pulled out his phone and started watching the cameras. And I was like, I get it. Like, I get that you have your own business. And like, trust me, like, I understood that was his priority at the time. Like, he opened the business. I came into his life while he already had it. Like, I was completely okay with it. I've also been the kind of, I've always been the kind of person that like just likes to do things on her own. So it didn't bother me that he wasn't available 24/7.
Because you were independent, yeah.
But that day was like, it's either make it or break it for me right here. Because like the fact that we're having a great time and like your dad also has access to the cameras and the man is watching the cameras. Like, why do you have to be watching the cameras, And so that was
that's why I hate the question when people ask you, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, because not only is that just really like surface level, and I just don't do that, but you're also like measuring people's value based on what they do, how hard they work. And I think that's part of the hustle culture is like, you're saying this is how much I'm worth because this is how hard I work. And I think 2 truths can exist at once. Like, you can be a really hard worker. And I think I'm a hard worker. I've been working since I was 15. I've had multiple jobs at once, multiple times in my life, but Kelly and I always say, I'm tired, boss.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's not my worth. I can turn it on, and I'm a great worker and I'm a hard worker. And if I need to, I will, but that's not my whole worth. Like, that's not who I am as a human. So I've gotten in the habit, instead of asking people what they do, what projects have you been working on lately? Because that allows them to be like, I have a garden that I'm working on, or actually at work. And then if they want to talk about work and that's their jam, cool. Then that gives them space, but you're not limiting people to like, what do you do? Because that's like, what do you do? And how does that work for me? Cause that's like a weird underlying question that kind of lingers with that question to me. Or like, what are you worth to me? What's your value? Yeah. And so it's that. It's like, yeah, it's great. I think it's a great quality to be a hard worker, because there's also a lot of people that aren't hard workers, and I don't think that's a nice thing either. But that balance between, like, I can be a hard worker, but I can also value my time and rest.
Yeah. And that was the thing too, when we first started dating, was like, I was working so fucking hard that I really was, I'm tired, boss. I don't want to do this no more, grandpa. I'm tired of this, grandpa. That was me. And on Sundays was technically my day off. But like on Sunday, like, I didn't want to do shit. I was just so fucking tired from doing, especially payroll week. Because fuck, did I hate payroll week. I was just so exhausted. I didn't want to do anything, but I wanted to do everything. So I think I just spent so much time in a state of want that now that I have the opportunity to do everything that I want, I just want to try it all. Which, again, there's nothing wrong with it, but like, now I do have time to go fuck around and play golf if I want to. I got myself a goddamn bike and I rode 10 miles the other day. It's like, hell yeah. So it's like, okay, I like this. I've been dying to get back into photography for like the past, I think, 6 years. And now that we have the cameras, it's like, okay, I'm gonna fucking finally do this.
Yeah.
You just texted me yesterday. Hey, want to get back into music?
Yeah. So we haven't told the listeners yet, but we're gonna scale down the podcast a little bit. Honestly, because I just feel like it's a lot right now. Mm-hmm. We're revamping the merch. Paulina and I need to start hustling, like buckle down and start planning the wedding. So there's just a lot going on.
Her eyes twitching.
Yeah,
She's like
so there's just a lot going on that I was like, okay, we need to scale down a little bit. But at the same time, there's also going to be some dead space during the week if we're not podcasting, because that takes up a lot of my time too. So then I texted Jesus yesterday and I was like, hey, so if we scale down, do you want to like start DJing with me?
Amazing.
Because like that's something that him and I have been talking about for like the longest time. Actually, when we started the podcast, he got FL Studio, and that's how we first started to edit. Now we have Adobe, but that's the whole different other story. But the idea was that we could edit and learn to play music at the same time, but we just never got around to it. So yeah.
I made
It was
30
another
seconds
hobby.
of a song.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Nice.
You choose really expensive hobbies.
Catch us at Coachella next year. I do have really expensive hobbies.
That's actually a hobby I've always wanted to pick up. I think I'd be a good
DJ?
DJ.
I see it.
Ahí está.
Like a
Ahí están los
quinceañera
tres,
DJ.
pónganse.
The next Swedish House Mafia. We got Polish, Mexico, and El Salvador right here in the house.
Nice.
What's up?
Ahí pónganse los
Wrosz.
tres.
What's up?
I'll watch you
That's a
guys.
sick ass DJ name. Wrosz.
Nice.
But yeah, we derailed a little bit, huh? I had like a really good train of thought going on, and I was like, I had so many questions, but Sylvia kept talking, and not in a bad way.
No, yeah.
It just kind of pushed away.
It flowed.
Yeah. You guys want to take a quick break?
Yeah.
All right. Jesus, pause.
So,
Conspiracy
Mr. Donald Trump.
Oh my God, no.
kidding.
Do not even know. You're going to open a whole can of worms here.
Did I tell you I got fucking roofied at Sidebar?
What?
Yo.
All right, we're going to put them on blast right now.
Oh, it's because you don't like them, huh?
No, I don't care.
No.
for them.
Is it,
I don't know
which was
them.
the one that didn't let you get your phone back?
Oh, before Sidebar was owned by who owns it now? Because I have nothing against it. But
Who's
yeah.
a piece of shit.
Yes.
That's fine. He can hear that. Fuck you.
It was actually owned by the company that I work for now at the time.
Got it.
We don't
I
go
got
clubbing
my-
anymore, so whatever.
No,
Yeah.
I got my phone stolen at Sidebar, and no, that's not really stolen. I forgot it somewhere, and I knew
Yeah.
exactly where I had forgotten it. And like, I wasn't even drunk. Like, I had a couple drinks, but nothing crazy. And I left, and I didn't get the stamp because we weren't coming back. But I shit you not, like, I literally walked out and was like, "Fuck!" And I turned back around, and the security guard was like, "Nope." Like, you can't come in. And I was like, okay, well, do you mind going to check? Because I can literally tell you exactly where it is. And he said no. And he was just being such a dick.
I can't
That I was
stand
like, dude, like, I don't know. Like, you saw me walk out. I literally walked out
Yeah.
and like turned around. Like, why would you not let me go back in just to check for that? Like, there was nothing else that I
Yeah.
needed to do. So ever since that, like, I just like hated that place. And I started working for the company that owned it. And I was like, great. But then we sold it to like 3 months after I started working there.
Yeah. I've never liked specifically just because he's a trash human. But I went to, it was at Lionfish First, the dinner. It was a private dinner, all girls.
Yeah.
And then from there, we walked to Sidebar, and it was a private section, and it was all for like a champagne event, whatever. So that was the day before I left for New York, actually. And I went with my sister. There was another spot, and I was like, "Oh, come, hang out with me. We'll go home early. You take us to the airport in the morning." And then she was gonna watch the dogs for the weekend. So my sister and I go. We leave early. The only drinks I had, and I can drink, like I can pack it when I drink. I can count on one hand the amount of drinks I had, so it should not have done anything really to me. And every drink I had, I took from staff because it was a private event.
Yeah.
And we got to Sidebar. Everything was fine. I walk back to my sister's car. We get it from the valet at the Pendry. As I'm in the car home, I'm just like, I feel weird, but not like
And you were driving or your sister was
she was driving, luckily. but like not like where you're like, oh, I'm fucked up. Like it was just like I feel weird. I went to get out of the car when we parked in front of my house, and I fell out of the car because my body just stopped working. And the way that I got out, I was trying to like get up out of the car and then clear like this rock and this tree that was next to the car. So I like fell on my side onto the rock, and I had bruises all here and here. And I literally laid on the ground after falling. And my sister was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, I was with you the whole time. Like, you didn't drink that much. What did you, like, did you take something? Like, what? And I thought I was speaking, and I could, like, my whole body just stopped working.
That's fucking scary.
I couldn't, my brain was telling my hand to like reach for my sister to say something, and nothing was working. And so then I started panicking because I was still cognizant of like what was happening. And then I started crying, and my sister was like, what do I do? And then the only thing I could say, I was like, get Kelly. And I started crying. I don't remember anything after that. Oh my God. And Kelly had to pick me up off the sidewalk, bring me inside. He brought like the trash because he was like, is she fucked up? Like, what's, and she was like, no. And I mean, I didn't throw up. I wasn't drunk. I got fucking roofied.
Yeah. That's fucking scary.
It was so scary.
I think the worst part is that you were at a private event and like, thrown by that.
Well, since then, Patrick also got roofied at Sidebar at Ari's birthday 2 years ago. So that's happened to him there too. Kelly took a call in New York from a new client, this older woman. She's like just had a baby. And he kind of mentioned something in passing of like, we almost didn't make it here because Sylvia got fucking roofied last night. And she was like, oh, my husband's a chef in downtown. He says that happens there all the time. Like, and since then, I've found out from so many people that this is just like, this is a thing that happens at Sidebar. And so I don't know how we made it on the plane. Kelly woke me up at 4, which I had only had a couple hours of sleep at that point. And I was still kind of like, I got up and I felt like a baby deer. I was like I couldn't walk still. And I was like, I started crying again. I was like, Kelly, my body's not working. Like, I don't know what to do. And I was just, because I wasn't sick. I wasn't like, my body just wasn't working. We somehow made it with 2 minutes to spare getting to the gate to boarding. I got on the plane, passed out, and the flight attendants were like, is she good? And Kelly, they thought I took like too many sleeping pills.
Oh, because you were probably,
I was
knocked the
out.
fuck out.
And he was like, no, actually, I'm pretty sure she got roofied last night. They were so nice. They gave me blankets, pillows, like fruit bars. They were like, whatever you need. Like, they were so kind. And it wasn't until the next day I went to the Army class, which the class was already hard.
Roofied and everything.
Yes. Friday morning, I go and I'm like banged up. I'm all sore. I do this class. It kicks my ass. I started my period 5 minutes before class. I was like sick. So I like walk back to my hotel in Soho, and that was when it hit me. And I just I lost it and I started crying because the first thing that came to my head, which then it just pissed me off, I was like, maybe I was targeted because I went to the gas lamp lighter in that dress with my nipples out.
You think so?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can see why that went through your
I immediately,
mind.
that's the first thought I had. And then I was just pissed because how many women does that happen to? And that's maybe I wore the wrong thing. Maybe I provoked it. Like maybe I did something wrong. There is no fucking way that any woman should ever feel like that's their fault.
No.
Ever. So then I was just pissed.
Yeah.
So now I've just been telling everybody, don't go to Sidebar, they'll roofie you.
She's not wrong though. I would always tell people, don't go to Sidebar, they'll steal your phone.
Well, now you got something else to worry about.
Something else to worry about.
It goes deeper than that.
But
anyway.
Well, all right. Well, that's a story for you guys from a bar in downtown. No, what is it? Nightclub in downtown.
Nightclub. It's like a bar.
It's like a nightclub.
It's on Market?
6th and Market.
Yeah.
Right on the corner.
Right there.
I know where.
Right next to Bang Bang.
Right next to the Ryan Gosling bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
That place is cool.
I remember that.
They renamed it. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
They did?
We were supposed
Bang on 5th, Bang on 6th.
Bang on 6th.
Bang
We were
on
supposed
6th.
to go on to the grand opening or the reopening because Smiles was DJing. But
yeah, we just don't go out anymore, you know? We
it's
never make
hard,
it out
yo.
to these things.
It's hard.
I don't go out and then that happens. I'm
I
like,
know.
damn.
Then you don't want to go out again.
Yeah.
How was New York?
New York was amazing. I have always loved New York. I had an opportunity when I was younger to move to New York and to work as an intern for GQ. And that was the same year that my parents sued me.
Oh.
So I didn't go. But I've always had this like little like love affair with New York because I'm like,
It was
I'm
stolen
like
from me.
tempted. Yeah. And I think I'm like definitely past that age. I think if I had gone there when I was 19 and when I had that opportunity, I would have killed it.
Yeah.
I would have been in it. I would have been hustling. I think I would have really thrived in that like quick culture. But now that I'm older and I'm like, I miss my window.
Yeah.
It's a little too much for me. But I do love, like, the city is so incredible in the way that it makes you feel so small, but not in a bad way. Like, you just, like I was saying earlier, like, I went there to a workout class and I'm like, we think we're hot shit. Like, there's people doing crazy shit in New York. But I think that's true with, like, every sector in New York. Fashion, music,
Agreed.
like, everything. Everything is just bigger there. And so nobody gives a shit. Like, no one's giving you a second thought. No one's thinking about you. Like, they're just on their way to do their thing. And there's something so cool about that bustle of that city. And I love it. So it sucked that I like went under the circumstances I went because I didn't get to fully enjoy it like I wanted to, but I love New York. If I could have like an apartment that I just get to visit in the fall, in the spring, like the nice times of year in New York, I would spend like a month out of the year there. I love it. The Museum of Natural History is my favorite.
You should get yourself an apartment out
So
there
we could
so
all
we
go.
can all go.
Have you seen that meme where it's like someone in bed and they're just rolling over? It's like me sleeping knowing that my best friend is working hard so we can both be millionaires. Please, Sylvia Sessions, take off so we can all have a Sylvia Session out there.
I keep talking about that with my friend Tabor because she's lived in Spain, she's lived in Colombia, and she wants to like buy property somewhere in Europe. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy in Poland, you buy in Spain, I'll get something then in Mexico, and we'll just have like a little
community
collective.
houses?
I love this. I want to be part of this collective.
Yeah.
I really
What you got? Where are you buying property?
Well, I really want to buy property in Mexico City.
Same.
But
That's
This
a big
feels
one
like
for me.
the "what do you do for a living" question.
For real.
It's like,
How
what
do you
can
benefit me?
do for me?
What summer home do you have for me to vacation to?
Well, I have El Salvador, so
There you go. It's pretty safe right now.
Jesus
I
has
guess.
Acapulco.
Yeah, he does actually, and he
And
actually
this one
he has
they
a whole ass
had-
hotel.
Yeah, this one is actually like up and alive. It's not a
First
dream.
in inheritance list.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are you first
Well,
in
you know
inheritances?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Or-
I was gonna say, are you not the first one in the list?
Well, I don't know. What if it's backwards? What if they like a
Nah,
sister more?
there's
They
no
left it to
way.
Nayeli.
Yo.
There's no way.
His little niece, his
Aw.
2-year-old niece.
Have you gone and seen it?
Nah, I already claimed that shit. Yeah, I've gone a couple times.
We need to go. We need to make a trip.
I know. I called his parents one day like at 2 a.m,
Bro.
3 a.m.
drunk as shit, and
Oh,
I was like,
shit.
"I'm going to fuck on Acapulco."
But the worst part is that they were in Acapulco, so it was like
Yeah, it was
5
3
in
over
the-
there
3
for
over
them.
3
Yeah,
for
3
them.
over.
I don't know what time it was here. and I
But
was like,
luckily
"Dude,
they
what are
were
you
waking
doing?"
up because they had to go to the airport.
Yeah.
But they keep telling him, but he keeps saying, "Oh, next time, next time."
Well, Mario does this thing when he's drunk that he just makes all these plans and thinks he's gonna make it to all of them, and then wakes up the next
Nice.
morning and is like, "I'm not going to any of that."
Like, we hate to tell you, Mario, but you overcommitted.
So this all happened in like February, and he's making these plans to go to Acapulco in March, our busiest month of the year. And I'm like, dude, we're not making
Yeah,
it
we're
out to
not doing
Acapulco.
that.
Like realistically, we're not, right? And he's like, no, Marzo, and he like gave them dates, and I was like, your dad's birthday, bro, but all right,
Oh,
He
yeah,
wants
the
to go
wedding.
too.
whatever. And he's just like making all these plans, and then the next morning he's like, did I call Jesus' parents last night? And I was like, yeah, and we're going to Acapulco apparently.
Someone's just
in a
got to take my
month.
phone away when I'm drunk. It's
You
just
guys talked about it again at the wedding too recently. I don't know if you remember.
At Katya's wedding? I wasn't there.
I wasn't there either.
Yeah.
Well, you probably were physically. I don't think I was there at all. Because I do remember the whole night, so.
That's wild. Anyways,
That wasn't me. That was Rebecca.
for real, this is why I gotta get on the.
That was Edwin.
That was Edwin. Someone's just gotta take my phone away. It's like, who leaves me unattended? I'm like a child.
You are very much like a child when you're drunk.
I just like to talk to people.
Have we told the listeners our drunk story from the other day?
Which one?
From Sarah's?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm going to tell you guys a story and I'm going to Sylvia in on this story.
I don't know if we can say the.
No, not that part. Just us being.
Yeah.
So we went to Mario's sister's best friend's birthday party.
You're like, Jesus cut.
I'll tell you that part off. So we went to
But if you sign up for our Patreon,
Mario's sister's best friend's birthday party, right?
Okay.
She threw herself like a Hawaiian themed birthday party. But when I tell you this shit was Hawaiian theme, it was Hawaiian theme. She had a fire guy, like she had an ukulele guy, she had a hula dancer, like
Oh, I
all
love
the
that you
things
said it
going.
right.
Yeah.
The ukulele.
The ukulele. No, so she had like all the things, right? Like it was actually really cool, and like the food and everything.
It's a luau, right?
yeah.
So we get there and like they can drink, like that family and that group of friends like drink, and like they're the kind of people that are just like drinking shots, and like they're having a drink and they're taking a shot, they're having a drink and they're taking a shot, right? So I knew going into this home, I had to respect the rules and had to drink.
Respect the rules.
I don't drink anymore. Like truthfully, like I just haven't really been drinking, so like my tolerance is not there. So I get there and a friend's husband hands me a drink. He's like, "Oh, ¿qué quieres tomar?" Right? And I'm like looking in the cooler and like I don't want beer. I don't like drink seltzers because they give me headaches. And the first thing I see is a Cutwater. So I was like, "Oh, just give me the Cutwater." Mind you, like I completely forget they're 12%. Like who the fuck do I think I am starting with a 12.5% Cutwater? Like, you know? And so I was like, whatever. And then he comes over to the table and starts giving us shots. We got there at like 6 p.m.?
Yeah.
We got there at 6 p.m. Having a great time. Like truthfully, I do remember having a really good time. And then I went to the bathroom one time and I was like, I need to go home. Like I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I have to go home, right? I like reflected on it the next morning. We fucking got home at 10 p.m. Like, like it was probably like 9:30 when I looked at myself in the mirror and was like, we have to go home, right?
Amazing.
So I do remember like enjoying the party. Like do you remember anything like specific?
I don't remember the fire guy.
Oh, he doesn't remember the fire guy. So I do remember the fire guy, and I thought I took sick ass pictures of the fire guy.
Sarah has this video of like she's panning the party as the fire guy's there. But I'm sitting the total opposite way. Like I'm not even facing the fire guy. I'm just sitting.
It's because our chairs were giving
No.
him
My back was giving, like I was like looking at like the bar area where the cooler was, and the fire guy was like behind me. I don't know who the fuck I was talking to.
Maybe you were talking to someone.
I don't fucking know, but
because we turned our chairs around to like watch the fire guy. Yeah. Well, anyways, so
it was a great time.
We were there for 2.5 hours. It fucking apparently fully blasted. But because I'm telling you, like they're just like shots after shots after shots, and like truthfully, we don't do shots like when we go out and stuff, you know. So we're just not used to it. But the funny part is, once we're home, I was like, okay, I have to throw up. Like I can't do this, and I'm like in the bathroom, and I remember hitting my head. But I like don't really remember how it happened. And I remember telling Mario like, ow, I hit my head, and like going like this. And I walked to the bed because I was like, I'm fucking going to sleep. And then I hear, oh, fuck. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? So like I run back to the bathroom and Mario's like in pain, right? Like you could just tell like he's like hating his life. And I was like, oh my God, like babe, what happened? And he's like, I don't want to be a fucking dick right now, but just leave. And I was like, oh my God. And normally I'm actually really proud of myself because drunk Bao would have been like, fuck you, don't talk to me like that. Like, I would have made a scene out of it.
Shit.
Meanwhile, my sister's in the other room.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, his sister had to drive us home.
Oh.
But hold on. So then I was like, I think like drunk me realized just that he was in pain. So I was like, all right, I'm in pain, you're in pain. I'm gonna leave, right?
Yeah.
And then the next morning, whatever, I went to sleep. I don't remember anything. I wake up the next morning and like I'm talking to Mario. I'm like, well, I don't feel like super hungover. Like I think I'm okay. Maybe because it was just like straight tequila. And then all of a sudden he goes, did you hit your head? And I was like, wait, I did hit my head. Like, I didn't even remember I had hit my head. Dude, I had this red, like, it was super red on my forehead. For like 4 days it hurt. At one point I was like, I actually think I need to go to the doctor. Like, I may have given myself a minor concussion. Yeah. And I honestly, like, now that I look back on it, I had just gone to the doctor, and I hate going to the doctor because my copay is really high for no fucking apparent reason. And I was like, and I was just upset because I went and it was a 6-minute like cita. Like I was just so annoyed that
Yeah.
like they didn't even do what I needed to do, right? So I was like, I'm not gonna go back and pay my copay again for the doctor to be like, oh, you're fine, like you just hit your head, like put some ice on it, you know. But at one point, like I went to work out, and as I was like working out, I started getting dizzy, and I was like, oh, that's probably not the not a great sign. And then like I kind of had this like ongoing headache for like 2 days. Then it went away. I'm okay now though.
Okay.
I really just didn't want to go. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I'm okay. Anyways, so yeah, that happened. Mario broke his toe. That's why he was in so much pain.
Oh no.
Oh, I don't know
I don't
if
think he
I.
actually
I don't
broke
think
it,
I
but-
actually broke it. But I for a little bit of time I couldn't walk. My toe was purple though.
Oh no.
So I don't remember if I kicked the toilet or if I kicked the door.
I think you kicked the toilet. From like
Yeah,
what I remember. You could have kicked the bed for all
Yeah.
I know, honestly.
But yeah, that was it was a fun night.
It was fun. It's just funny because like the
Fun
next
3
day,
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the next day
Best
when we
3
were
hours of my
talking
life.
about it, I didn't realize how early we had gotten home.
I thought we had gotten home super
I
late.
thought we lasted like the night, and then I was like, wait, we were only there for like 3 hours. Like, what the fuck is wrong
Isn't
with
that
us?
crazy?
Yeah.
Y yo, qué pena, dude. Like, I don't know. A mí sí me da como que la cruda moral. And I was like, yeah, this ain't it. It's just not for me. But I have this like ongoing joke where I get drunk once a year and that does it for me. Like, and it's always around the same time because it's always the summertime. Because in the summer is when I want to drink.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no other time of the year.
That's the vibe.
Yeah. So that was fue mi peda del año, and I'll talk to you guys next year and see when I get drunk because it's not happening again.
I can't even remember the last time I got really drunk. It takes a lot for me.
Yeah.
Like a lot. So Kelly's got his sweet spot. He has like his 3-drink max.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a lightweight.
Does he
little
not
bit.
drink often?
No. And it fucks with his sleep. Like he has so many other issues that happen when he drinks that it's not even so much about the hangover. It's just like it like affects his gut health and his sleep, and
It's the
it's
health.
just
It's the health
the
issues.
health.
The health.
Always the health.
I feel that,
Yep. It's funny. He just got a Whoop, and so we have a very healthy relationship. The only thing we fight about, or the things we fight about, all come back to this one thing, and it's sleep.
Oh.
I've never met someone that's like such a princess for sleep. Like, it needs to be cold because science says, and like,
What didn't he give you all?
yes, of course he fucking did. It has to be cold. I have to have my eye mask. I have to have my brown noise. Like it's this checklist of like, and I'm freezing. Like we have the fan and the AC, and I'm
Sure, you
like,
had told me that.
fuck. And then like I like watching TV to go to sleep, or like having like music or ambiance, not like in my ear. And I'm just like, okay, this ain't it. So we've struggled our entire relationship to find like a middle ground, and it's gotten to the point where he'll kind of like, he'll be like, okay, I can watch one episode of something with you, and then we have to turn it off. But then when it's time to turn it off, I'm like, I'm still not tired.
Yeah.
So then I have to put my headphones in, and then my headphones fall out and I'm uncomfortable. And so like, it's been this thing for our entire relationship. And then when we don't sleep well, then sometimes we don't have sex because we're tired, or he's tired, or our libido's low. And so any issue we have is all about sleep. Just sleep. Like that is our one. We can get through everything, but sleep we just can't seem to like hit on the head. And so he has a Whoop now. 2 days in, he goes, man, I hope I don't get too heady about this. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're already heady over this.
But he'll be like, look, like show me his stats. And like, I'm only getting 70% recovery. And I'm just like, I made the mistake once, which I think I could have approached it better at the time. But I was like, how much of this do you think is like just in your head though? Because from my frame of reference, I was like, you treat 4 hours of sleep like 6.5. And you tell me like I need at least 7, but 6.5 is like as extreme as 3 hours. And I just like, like there has to be like a time where it's like,
It's
okay,
okay.
like I missed out on half an hour less than what I would ideally optimally want. So we're going to like move on with our day. But he treats that the same as like, I only slept for 3 hours. Like I have to snap, and I can't do anything, and then I can't create. And like, And so I made the mistake of like comparing the two, and that's been like more fuel to the fire. So every time it comes up, he's just like, well, no, because you know, you repair when you sleep, so it's not in my head. And I'm just like, I don't want to argue about this. Like, I never understood why people had separate bedrooms.
I was about to say you're gonna be one of those couples.
We're gonna be one of those couples because we have to. We sleep so differently. And I can sleep anywhere, but it just takes me a while to get to sleep, and I need different things. But like the brown noise gives me anxiety. I can't stand it. Do any of you use noise machines?
No, we did the
I
chakra.
did like mantra,
yeah.
Like chakra.
But one time we were fucking sleeping. Paulina doesn't fucking turn this shit off.
I always put a timer on it, but I guess I forgot.
And magnesium gives me like trippy fucking dreams.
Same.
Okay, so
I got over it. It would at first. But
I never get over the weird dreams. I just have
I have the weirdest dreams.
The weirdest fucking dreams.
It's when I take magnesium with melatonin, and I try to take very small amounts of melatonin, but when I take them together, I have the craziest fucking dreams. They make no goddamn sense. I wake up and I'm just like, what the hell?
So sometimes I wake up because I'll take it at a certain time when we go to bed, and I'll wake up every single time at the same time. It's like 4 a.m, and I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck did I just dream?
There's something wrong with your liver.
No, I'm tired of your fucking research, all right?
I actually don't know if it's your liver, but it means something.
But
she's like, in Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
She's like,
It's your clock.
I don't know what's gonna be worse, if her research or when you start doing your Sylvia sessions and she starts reading everything. But so my problem is
he's like, you're not allowed to go to this event anymore.
You know what? Cancel this podcast.
Well, like
Jesus,
the other day, he was
shit.
like, you're not allowed to follow Kelly anymore because he posted something. I was like, look, this makes a lot of sense.
You know what's funny? She was like, don't tell Kelly we had this pokey. I was like, he loves this pokey. We can tell him that, but it's bleeding onto her.
No, my problem is Olivia, because Olivia loves to be next to me when she's sleeping.
Wait, you didn't talk about the noise.
Oh yeah, sorry, ADHD brain. She has this thing on and she forgets to put the timer or the timer on, and it's like 3 a.m, and all I'm hearing is and it's tripping me the fuck out, dude. I'm like mid trip because of the fucking the magnesium, and next thing you know, these fucking Chinese and I wake up, dude, and I'm just so confused. I'm like, where the fuck am I? It's like, what the fuck is going on?
He wakes me up, right? And here I am getting mad because he's waking me up.
That's the worst part.
He's like, turn off your shit. And I was like, I put a timer on it. Like, it hasn't even been on for an hour because the timer's like an hour.
But I shit you not, I thought I fucking like died. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I was like...
And I do turn around and I look at my phone. It's 3 a.m, so then I have to like apologize for getting mad because I'm like, oh, it's actually been like 4 hours, my bad. And so then I turn it off and fall back to sleep. And then I wake up in the morning and he's fucking pissed because he wasn't able to go back to sleep.
Oh no!
And I fell into like a deep sleep.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing. If Kelly wakes up midnight, he usually can't go back to sleep. And I can. Like, I could pee 10 times in the middle of the night, come back to bed, just go right back to sleep, and I'm good. But if his sleep gets disrupted, it's so hard for him to like come back and like go back into REM. So it's been a nightmare. That's my other deep dive right now. Hormones and sleep. Like what can I do for sleep? I've been doing like the tart cherry juice and stuff like that because I have like a mile a minute mind where I can't turn it off. So watching a show, especially a show, and I read somewhere that's a therapy thing. Like, you're doing it because it's familiar, so you don't have to think.
You watch the same thing.
Or it's the same thing.
So Friends. I saw that too because I have that issue. I love watching the same shit over and over again. And I don't know if it's like anxiety or if it's like me, because like I already know the outcome.
You're fucked up. We are fucked up.
I don't love The Office because it's funny. I love it because I know what's happening.
Yeah, literally. It's The Office, it's Friends, it's Sex and the City, and Mad Men and Gilmore Girls. Depending on my mood, the time of year, or like maybe I just watched one already, I'll cycle through them. But it's the familiarity and the comfort of something you know is coming already. I think it's the comfort
because sometimes I don't know what this is, or maybe I don't know if it ties in with the same thing. I will be watching TikToks, and I have The Office playing at the same time. And like she gets mad at me. She's choose one because like
Kelly does that to me too. Because I'll like out of anxiety, I'll like play a game or fidget with something or scroll for something, or I'll be like, oh, let me make this list really quick, and he's just like, why do you need both screens? Like we shouldn't have any screens in this bedroom. Science says, and I'm like, you just fuck off.
I think that's the only thing that you and Kelly are like, and me and Sylvia are like. Because other than that, you two are like the fucking same. Yeah. it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I was like,
but you were mentioning Ollie too.
Oh yeah, Ollie's a pain in the ass.
I used to sleep with my dogs every night, and right now that Kelly's in Virginia, he was like, what are you looking forward to the most? Because I'm coming here with you. I was going to spend time with Maria today. Like Patrick came over for dinner last night with my friend Katie. Like I had all these plans for when he was gone, and he was like, oh, like what are you the most excited to do while I'm gone? And I was like, well, all those things I would do even if you were here. I'm excited to be alone in the house. I'm excited to sleep with my dogs, because we don't sleep with the dogs anymore because they like the heat. He can't stand it. He's like, they get too hot. They shake, their collars, whatever. We've tried taking the collars off. Nothing helps. If they move and wake him up, he can't go back to sleep, and it fucks with his whole night.
Damn.
And it makes me so sad.
Yeah.
I made it a rule recently because he was like, will you take them out? And then it's like me carrying the poor little animal back to like the living room. And he's like, Mommy, why are you doing this to me? Like, if you don't want them in here, you have to kick them out. I'm not kicking them out because I want them in here. So it's been this like, it's hilarious. We'll leave and I'll be like, Mommy loves you. And he's like, Daddy loves you more. And I'm like, he's lying. He kicks you out at night.
Well, that's funny because when Mario and Kelly first started talking, Mario started talking to me about how we had to crate train Ollie and like not let her sleep on the bed anymore. And I was like,
but I have been saying this too because Ollie gives me the worst fucking sleep.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
mean, she really does. She's very uncomfortable. Like she picks the most awkward spot to lay in, and then you're like all fucking twisted because you don't want to move the dog, you know?
And she's only 22 pounds, but dude, she's a fucking heater.
No, but the minute that you started talking to Kelly, all of a sudden, you wanted the dog
I
out.
want to look like the man. Have you seen him? His legs are like fucking, fuck the turkey leg. Like,
Wait, I have the funniest story about his legs specifically. Mexico City, okay? He likes his 5-inch inseams. So he likes the short shorts.
Me too.
He likes to show off the quadzillas, right?
I don't have the quadzillas, but I just like the shorts.
The short shorts are good.
Yeah.
So we're in Mexico City and he's outside of a restaurant and I'm asking like, oh, can I just see like a copy of a menu, something? And I'm the guide because I'm the Spanish speaker, right? So I come back and there's this toothless homeless lady that's right in front of Kelly and she's just like eyeing him up and down and she's like, tiene buenas piernas, ¿verdad? To the rest of us. And he's like, what did she say? And she made some other comment like very inappropriate. And I was like, oh. And he's like, what is she saying? And then he starts to panic. And I was like, she likes your legs. And she just goes, sí, papi, or like something like that. And I was like, oh my God.
Do you guys need a minute?
Right. 2 days later, same woman.
Oh no.
But Kelly stayed home to nap and we all went to like this little wine bar and we were sitting outside and there was live music and she came around. She's like, hey, ¿dónde están las piernas? I was like, what?
Whoa, she remembered.
And so now whenever we like get into little arguments about sleep and shit, I'm just like, you can go to that toothless woman. She probably gives good head. I don't know. You got options. It doesn't have to be me. But I will never forget. She was eyeing those legs and I was like, damn. And then he'll be like, if you don't appreciate him, that woman in Mexico City will.
She's got you locked in 100%.
She was ready. She was thirsty.
She got the hawk to him.
She was ready.
Oh my God.
The worst thing is that Sylvia right now is imagining this woman.
Yeah. She's like,
Oh man. Sorry, Kelly. Somehow we always end up talking about you.
Yeah.
It's okay. Next time he'll be here to defend himself.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I told him. But yeah, no, Ollie does give me the worst fucking sleep. And I don't think I've had a good night's sleep since we've got her.
Ay, qué exagerado.
Porque no se te pega a ti.
Sí se me pega.
She's kicking me and then she's
Kelly says
always
the same.
touching
Like
me.
our life. I just sent it to him this morning.
that's it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
We do have to crate train her. I mean, truthfully, I do think it would help the bedroom life in general, because it would help our sleep a lot.
And I'm just exhausted.
Yeah.
Like it was Bao has recently been waking up at the same time that I do. And I'll come back after getting ready. I'll go back into the room. And she goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fucking tired." And I grab her because I had to take her out potty. It's like, "Let's fucking go."
But she's just a baby.
I know.
Then I see like those TikToks that's like, you only have 10 summers with your dog.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
I know. Like you only have whatever.
Whoa, that got dark.
I know. Well, because then I always send them to him, and I'm like,
I was thinking about the
see?
one I just sent Kelly. It was this like video of a dog, and it was that sound clip from that guy from Portlandia, and he was like, "I'm sorry, I don't have any. I'm just a baby. I could pay you in blocks." And the caption was like, "When your vet gives you a $2,500 bill, your dog,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have any."
Yep.
Yeah.
I can relate to that too.
Just a baby.
You're just a baby.
All right, should start wrapping things up.
Yeah. What a random episode, you
Yeah.
guys. Thanks for sticking through.
I like these
This
episodes.
was fun.
Yeah. No agenda. Just
No agenda.
Yeah.
just talking.
It's freestyling.
It's
Yeah.
good to be back.
Sylvia really came for the chismecito, though.
Yeah.
But
I
we're gonna make you guys wait
Yeah.
until
TBH
next week.
next week. But anyways, guys.
Yes.
Sylvia, thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait to see what's in store for Sylvia Sessions.
Yes.
We are here for anything that you need collectively, I believe.
Thank you.
Bao, I know, is in for the ride for life. So podcast stuff is here whenever you need it. So
Thank you.
we appreciate you. If you want to know more about Sylvia, honestly, that episode 35 says it all.
Yeah, that
That's-
went in deep.
Yeah, so that's why
Yeah.
we didn't really dive deep into more stuff with Sylvia that's not random conversation, because that one, just go back and listen to it. Honestly, if
Yeah.
you have nothing to do, we're skipping weeks, so go back and listen
Even
to
if you have something to do, go with listen to it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
You could break it up. It's a long
Yeah.
one, but it's,
yeah, that's what
I
she
like to
said.
think it's worth it.
Oh, it was a good one.
With no
Nice.
teeth.
What?
Ribbed for your pleasure.
Fun fact, those are the first condoms my mom got me.
Nice.
The Trojan ribbed.
Oh, I didn't know where I was going with that.
Well, I was like, whoa,
was like,
you have
whoa.
a story.
No, I didn't know where you were going with that.
Oh, I didn't have a talk in my house. Yeah,
got
like
a
a
box
sex
of
talk. One day I just showed up and there was a Costco size box of condoms
amazing.
on my bed. And my mom said, "No seas pendejo," and then walks out.
Lo dijo que su casa no era pasarela.
That was later.
And then you blew them
I
up
was
like
like
balloons.
22. Yeah.
Then he started making animal balloons out of
And you were still that immature.
I did open one and I was like, because I was curious. And like, well, they have lube on them. And
Yeah.
I was
Filled it with water.
what is this?
These aren't
This
gloves.
is so weird. And I remember I was like, where do I throw this away? I thought I was going to get in trouble for opening it. And I was like,
Okay, you were way too young to be getting that box.
Yeah.
and I go to the
Yeah, you
bathroom.
need a little more context. I'm always curious how people, I'm like weird about that. I always love knowing how people grew up with like sexuality in their house,
Yeah.
because Kelly and I, completely different. Like he grew up in a Christian home and they didn't talk about that stuff and they listened to Christian music. And
Okay.
we went to the Rolling Stones concert this past weekend, and he didn't realize how many songs were the Rolling Stones because he
Oh.
didn't grow up listening to that. But in my house, we had aphrodisiac like coffee table books. Like sex was like a very open topic for us. And then in Europe, there's like nude beaches and stuff. So for me, it was just normal. And even like what I gravitate to with art and things, like I love nudity, and like I'm obviously not scared of like my nipples being out, and I just the female body and just the body in general to me is not like a vulgar thing. It's like they sculpted art out of things like that, and so it's always really interesting to me like how people grew up and what their conversations were and like how that translates into your adult life, because Kelly and I now are both, I think, at a very even level. Like we're comfortable talking about things, but our path in getting there was so different. So I always love knowing like, what was the birds and bees talk like for you?
Yeah, no, I didn't get one.
Yours
it was
was
just
a box of
Yours was a
I
box
and, I
and
was just
sticky
in my room
fingers.
figuring this shit out. I was like, what the?
Dude, I didn't. Now that I think about it, though, I didn't have a conversation either. The only thing, and I'll never forget this, because my mom looked me dead in the eyes and she said, "You get on birth control," and that's all. And that was like, and there was no conversation to it, unless
feel
there
like that's
was, and
a
I
lot
don't
of
remember
women.
it. But I feel like you normally remember that conversation, you know?
Yeah.
But it was just one of those like, if you're gonna start having sex, get on birth control. All right. So then I got on birth control. Probably the worst piece of advice my mom has ever given me, to be honest. Like good and bad, but no.
For sure. Yeah. Good
You just-
intentions.
Now we got to go
Bad
around
execution.
the table. Yeah, there you go.
Chuy.
Mine was pretty. It was with my mom.
Oh, you got a sit down talk.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
She explained everything.
He was the one with the normal family in this circle.
She explained everything. Like, make sure this is what I really want.
Insert
not to
himself. Insert himself.
make any
where?
mistakes.
She give you like a
know.
banana and a condom.
No, like she didn't bring out props, but like, she talked about it. So we talked about everything, and I was like, okay, and that was pretty straightforward.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's that
Mine was regular, it was
25%.
whatever.
Yeah.
all right.
So you didn't have a broken family, cool.
He didn't. He had the normal
Loser.
Oh, you grew up normal?
Oh, your dad? You have a dad?
He's listening to this.
He does. Shout out Senora y Senora
Yeah, they're
Sylvies.
cool.
They're super cool. They do listen. Sorry for, I always tell them this, but sorry for calling you so late.
All right, guys.
But guys, thank you so much for
On
joining
that
us.
note.
Make sure to keep your kids condoms and your regular talk. Be normal parents, please. You're going to say something?
I was gonna say in Ziplocs, but it was just a joke.
Ziplocs.
Nothing.
Whoa.
Keep going.
We keep wanting to end this episode and then it
Keep
just...
going.
It just keeps going. Did you put your dick in a Ziploc?
That's all I thought of, too.
Tu sandwich, mija.
And guys who use a condom on girls who use a Ziploc. You put it there.
I know.
God. Please don't use Ziplocs. Do not take advice.
¿A quién se le ocurre? What is that?
I'm not a,
At least a rap, bro.
I take it back. You're not a normal family. Not a normal family.
Oh, shit. Hasta me corté.
Do you have a Jesus quote? Or are we just ending this?
Ziplocs.
use Ziplocs.
All right. My dog needs to pee. We're
Anyways,
ending this.
guys, live your best life, fight your fears. Oh, wait, Sylvia, plug in your...
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sylviasessions.com. Handle is Sylvia Sessions with an underscore in between the two words. My Instagram is San Diego Sylv. And if you subscribe on my website, I'll keep you posted on all the things.
How often does your blog come out?
I would like to do a post a week eventually. I just did my first one just to kind of relaunch it. But I'm trying to figure out all the sectors and subjects because I definitely used to blog about some heavy things. And so I want to keep it real, but also keep it light and kind of stay focused with the new brand image, I guess. So we'll see.
Perfect.
But-
All right.
Nice.
Subscribe. Sign up for her email list.
Yeah. Ay, me corté.
¿Te cortaste?
Sí, because I got excited.
We're all so excited.
Oh my God, Ziplocs. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today.
Wait, what are you doing to Pam?
I'm not doing anything.
She's
Pam,
like, baby,
if
I
you
went to
need
Costco today. He pulls out the Ziploc bag.
I got the gallon
I
back
got the
today.
quarter gallons.
If you need help, blink twice.
She's like,
No wonder you guys never come out with this.
You gotta get that rezippable.
All right. We're wrapping this up.
All right,
Mario's
guys.
bleeding out
Yeah.
over here.
Oh, shit. Where was I?
Y como siempre.
Oh, y como siempre, guys, live your best life, fight your fears. At the end of the day, the only thing that you regret are the things that you did not do. So, Vive con Huevos, guys. We out of here. We love you. Peace.
Bye.
Never thanks.